As he came into the window was the sound of a crescendo. He came into her apartment, he left bloodstains on the carpet. She went underneath the table, he could see she wasn't able. So she ran into the bedroom, she was struck down, it was her doom. Addie, are you okay? So Addie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Addie, are you okay? So Addie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Addie, are you okay? So Addie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You've been hit by a smooth criminal. You're okay. There's a sign at the window. Then he struck you like a crescendo. He came into your apartment, left bloodstains on the carpet. And then he ran into the bedroom. You were struck down, it was your doom. Addie, are you okay? So Addie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Addie, are you okay? So Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? So Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
Going on, everyone? How are we doing? Welcome on in as we get ready to go racing with the MXL crew for round number 1 here in GP. Got a super excited one. I've been looking forward to this as new tracks, new track creator, as well as some of the new guys getting everything dialed in for us. Believe we are going to get rolling right into things here in just a second. So make sure you guys are staying tuned. Go, that looks a little better here. As always, huge shout out to everybody on the MXL side, everybody over there, Rico, all the guys for making this happen. These guys do such a fantastic job with all of the racing action and bringing all of the great prizes and community all together, as well as everybody that makes this track possible. I know JV, the newcomer into the mix. Just want to make sure I get it right. BC Creative. So huge shout out to these guys for making it all possible and bringing us such a fantastic track. Additionally to that, everybody outside of that and just the special media community, everybody, Club MX, the title sponsor, VM Visuals, Eltrix over there doing all our 3D renders, overlays, anything that you could possibly think of. That guy gets it done. Obviously, MXL, one of the sponsors of special media, TPR, AB Customs, Speed Photography, TH Visuals as well, getting all that graphics done. And Thunder has been absolutely killing it lately. So huge shout out to everybody over there. Huge shout out to everyone coming in and hanging out with us. Shifty, yes, sir. We are streaming MXL. Probably going to be jumping out of this pretty quickly, though, after racing. So we can get on over to the AEO Pro-Am side. We are going to start dialing things in as we continue through. So definitely going to have to keep an eye and hang with us as we dial everything in. But like I said, thank you and appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. And like I said, just as we iron out a few kinks, nothing too crazy, just trying to get it all figured out. As always, too, in this MXL GP series, huge shout out to the following sponsors: FXR, Rivalink, Strider Works, as these guys are the ones that are able to put this all together. So huge shout out to everyone over there. But besides that, let's go ahead. Let's kick things on down to the track as we are now loaded into the lobbies, and we'll see what we can take a look at in terms of kits. I unfortunately didn't get all of them that I wanted to get dialed in here today. Definitely moving forward, we will have more of the kits in there. Just taking a look at Shifty here on that Nexus code, JLM KTM. Looking very clean. Bike looking very good. As always, those Nexus code guys got it dialed in. Couple familiar names in there. We got Joman on the Normsco FXR KTM. Haven't seen him around in quite a while, so good to have him back on in. We got Strider in here from that MXL FXR team. A Brew from the Netherlands. Lorenzo Luis. Full handful of riders. Like I said, might not have been able to get everybody's kits in, so I do apologize this week. But like I said, moving forward, definitely going to be dialing all of that in. Additionally to that, as we got rolling into it, got a couple people. We got Call Me K-Man. Appreciate that follow there, brother. Rocks, welcome on in. Appreciate the follow. Welcome into the fastest growing broadcasting Twitch and broadcast studio, I would say, here in the MXB world. Once again, if you guys aren't following, make sure you guys hit that follow button. Absolutely love the support. That is the horn going off. So we are going to go ahead and slide the camera on over here to our long start straight here for our round number 1 out here in France for our MXBGP racing. But as we are getting set, looks like 30-second board going to be going up here any second. Rev's going to be going up. So we're going to watch all, I believe, 40 riders, 34 riders, heading on down this long start straight into the big right-hander here and heading up the hill. So definitely going to be an interesting, it looks like the 30-second board has gone down and we are getting ready to go racing here. Revs are up for round number 1, Moto 1. Gate is down and we are going racing. So it looks like Nubo on the KTM gets a great jump and is gonna lead the pack here into turn number 1. Looks like we got a little bit of netcode issues going on there, but there it is. Nubo comes around that top 0 racewear corner in the number 1 spot. Q on that Goon Squad. Husqvarna in the number 2. Lorenzo in that number 3 position. Excite, a familiar face, now makes his way into the number 3 position. CH in the mix. FMX, Squish in the mix. MP. So we make our way over the finish line jump here for the first time. A couple riders getting all collected up. That is a Neverland rider, a Brew. Leaping up the hill on these 250s. That triple up the hill is a reach. They're going to have to see how many riders are able to uncork that. It is a pretty big time saver. Let's see if we can start to move our way back to the front as we make our way over that DJ Designs tabletop. Nubo still leading this crew around the track here on the opening lap. Q on that Goon Squad still holding strong in the number 2 position. Lorenzo making his way back into the number 3 spot. Excite on that PWR KTM in the number 4. MP Files in the mix as well. FMX on that SCAF. DD Designs has Trash Panda, and there is Shifty, the Nexus co-rider, trying to make his way further inside that top 10, looking at a top 5. Deeds, Squish from the MXB factory in there. Wyatt from that Ramen Co team, buried back just a little bit. Dr. Geo, a name we were expecting towards the front of this pack. Apparetta, I think that's how you say his name. The FXR AMX, or FTR, apologize for that. FTR AMX KTM rider there. Rico, the MXL FXR rivaling KTM rider. Benj there. Zaki, a Brew. Jensen. Missed the name of that rider there on the Husqvarna. Sen. I think that's what it is. Got Pro Rider in here. Sharpo, Jensen, Jacko. There is Joman, the Norms co-rider. Looks like he is buried back here with Strider on that MXL FXR Husqvarna. A lot of guys still trying to make their way through this pack, but the guys out front starting to check out. But it looks like we do have a battle on our hands as the number 1 and 2 spot, Nubo and Q, starting to reel him in just a little bit. And a mistake out of Nubo, and he is going to clip him. Q able to keep that bike on 2 wheels. And Q is now going to have a substantial lead here as he makes his way back up and over that Ace Moto step up. Heading towards that charge cycle work. Big triple. He's only going to double it here. Takes the smart line. And Q on that Goon Squad Racing Husqvarna running very strong in this number 1 spot. Nubo about a 4.5 second gap that separates the two. On this track though, that is not much, as one mistake can cost you tremendously that we saw out of Nubo. Lorenzo still holding strong in that number 3 spot. Next 2 riders we got is Lucas and FMX. These guys absolutely flying here on those white and yellow machines as they leap their way back down that big downhill double. Have 2 little options there. You can go double single, or you can roll in and double over the roller. And that seems to be the kind of the main line. Gonna see if we have anybody trying to go for this big uphill triple. Looks like most of these 250 riders decide not to, scrubbing it, staying low. But here we have it, Deeds, FMX, and Wyatt all right there together over that East Action Sports double. Just like that, one rider not hitting the uphill triple is going to open that gap just a little bit. Next riders, Excite and Shifty. Those guys battling it out there. Very fast riders. See them a lot in the Supercross series. A brew from the Neverland Snow on that Rocket KTM. In Send from the PFP Husqvarna. Jacko, Rico there sitting in about 14th. Squish gonna be right there behind him. Jumping on that Normsco FXR. Starting to charge forward over that DJ Designs. I guess you'd call that a step up, double. Not quite sure. Zachy in there. Benj. Pro Rider Trash Panda. That is going to be the top 22. Obviously, still have about 11 riders behind them. And look at these riders leaping across that, past that Zero Racewear billboard there behind them. Benj over the top. And we're getting word that Shifty, the Nexus co-rider in the chat there, ran out of fuel, had his qualifying setup, only able to get a few laps in. It is definitely going to be disappointing for the Nexus co-rider. Keeping an eye on M&P Films here on that VD team. There we go. On that Husqvarna, looking strong, still holding in that number 5 spot, been kind of there the entire race so far, and is looking very good as we slide up the ladder. It looks like Lucas going to be in that number 3 spot, falling to our guy Lorenzo there, who now moves himself into that number 4 spot as we see him over the top of that DJ Designs double. Watching Lorenzo make his way about 12 seconds behind our race leader of Q, still holding about a 6-second lead over the number 2 spot of Nubo on that Ramen Co. KTM, who has been moving so far here in Moto number 1. Still have about 12 minutes left to go. Gonna see as these guys make their way back down this hill, see if we got any new lines. Are these race leaders going for this Benton Racing uphill triple? Watching these guys leap their way up the hill. See an M&P or MP there. Dr. Geo in the mix. Seeing a whole slew of riders. We got Jacko on that Alpine racing team. Sen, Excite, Abreu all right there together. Next rider going to be Apparetta. Joman trying to reel these guys in as well. Snow, Squish, and that is going to be Jensen. All reaching their way up that huge uphill triple as Rico catches the tough block, goes over the bars. And just like that, about 4 riders going to make the pass. So like I said before, one little mistake can be very costly here at a track like this. Watching as a few riders make their way up this Ace Moto step up, long drive up that hill. These 250s using every bit of power that they got to get up the hill in a timely manner. Make the quick right and head towards that Charged Cycle Works triple in as we see Trash Panda absolutely launch his way into that section. Probably one of the most trickiest sections that we see on this racetrack as we see 2 riders actually go cartwheeling over the top of it. This off-camber left-hander, definitely key to stay as tight to that inside as you possibly can, which is going to set you up really good for that next turn. But as we can see, it is not one for the faint of heart. A lot of riders making mistakes in here, missing the lines that they want. That is actually opening the door for more riders to squeak up the inside. With 9 minutes still here to go in this race, we see Excite go down at the bottom of the screen there as he was chasing down Snow. And as we start to creep our way back towards the front of this pack here, can see Nubo there in the distance making his way down that long start straight. He is starting to reel in Q just a little bit. Maybe a mistake. Maybe he's just trying to realize that he does have this gap, does not need to be pushing as hard as he has been. So he's still holding on to about that 4-second lead. So we do have 8 minutes to go as he makes his way across the finish line here. With Nubo still in tail there, about a 4-second gap. So not letting him get too far away as we hang out here by the finish line. Gonna be about 17 seconds back is the number 3 and 4 spot of Lorenzo and Lucas. These guys absolutely duking it out here to get up onto that podium here in Moto number 1. Renzo absolutely flying there. Look at that. Lucas, though, around the outside, finds some smooth track. And that is going to reel him right back up to the rear tire of Lorenzo there. Both riders just trying to fight their way through some of these deep ruts that we have seen here at round number 1. MP Files still holding very strong in that number 5 spot, about 24 seconds back from our leader. Dr. Gio from the Neverland team running strong in the number 6 position. Jacko going to be next on the list on that Alpine KTM. Deeds on the Ghetto Husqvarna running in that number 8 spot. A Brew from the Neverland team going to be the next one up in the number 9 spot. Apparetta, the FTR AMX rider, in 10th. Sen from the PFR in 11th. Exciting that PWR KTM in 12th. Zaki and Wyatt. Looks like these guys battling back and forth, both teammates. Looks like Wyatt having a little mistake there, coming up that long uphill. It's going to allow Squish, the MXB factory rider, to reel these guys in just a touch. Watching FMX, Joman, Rico. Who else we got in here? Jensen, Benj. When Joman was down, he's going to open the door, allows a couple riders by. Trash Panda still leaping for that big triple in. And just like I said, one mistake is now going to find Joman about 4 or 5 positions backwards. Frankie and Snow also trying to charge their way inside that top 22. CH Rennie in there. More from the Genesis Performance team. Sharpo, I believe that is his name. 818 in there. There's Pro Rider on the TM. Dank, Strider, Slaxy in there. Recognize that name. But there it is, our race leader. 8-second lead now. Starting to put the burners on as he has gotten the halfway point. Pulling away just a little bit from Nubo. Still keeping it in control, though, as we have seen Q almost ride flawless here in Moto number 1. Seeing him charge his way up this long start straight. Picking up on what are the lines as we see him go single, double down the hill, jumps to the outside, stays wide there, dodges a lot of that braking bumps, carries the momentum, not going for the triple, so he's going to scrub that. And the only thing that we always talk about, 4 minutes still here to go, is the lap traffic. Q gonna be getting into him here in the next probably minute or so, and that is definitely gonna play factor as we see Nubo still charging hard, about 9 seconds behind our race leader. But this does give the opportunity. One mistake or getting stuck behind a lap rider could open the door for the Ramenco rider to move his way up or get close to the number 1 spot there. And he has quite a bit of a gap as we look back to that number 3 spot. Lorenzo still holding on strong. Dr. Gio, though, making a charge, has now made the pass on Lucas, but looks like Lucas has something to say about that. Not quite close enough to make it happen. We're going to see, can Lucas drive it down the inside? Is going to dive to a tighter line, gets a good drive out of the corner, and it is a drag race up the hill. Lucas going to be on the outside. Both riders trying to get to the inside double, and Lucas is going to take the position back away from Dr. Gio. Once again, this treacherous off-camber left-hander. Riders having to stay very careful through there, and especially as these guys make their way back out onto that long start straight. Dr. Gio carries the speed and is gonna slam the door on Lucas as he moves himself back into that number 4 spot. Lucas dives down to the inside, gives him the boot, and that is gonna take Lorenzo with him. And that is going to be a 2-for-1 for Lucas as he makes his way now up that Benton Racing uphill triple. We're gonna have to see if we do have some cuts involved, though. Does not really look like it. Glancing just a little bit back, though, there is M&P Film still holding strong, but is gonna have his hands full with the brew here shortly. Jacko from the Alpine MWS JHR KTM running strong in that 8th position. Sen gonna be the next rider on track as he makes his way up that big uphill triple. Currently sitting in 9th, 10th place. Excite. Looks like Apparetta and Deeds battling it out still for the number 10 spot. Thank you for calling that out there, Transcend. Taking a see if we can jump back out to our race leaders. That is going to be Lucas in the number 3 spot. And there they are. So Q now only has about a second gap here on Nubo. Apologize for the little bit of a camera work there. Going downhill was a little tricky. I didn't even do that. It just lifted me up. Something's collidable there. And here we go. Nubo has closed the gap in 30 seconds left on the clock. Riders are going to pass the finish line here before time expires. So we are about to have 3 laps to go. Can Q hold on to it? Can Nubo do something and make it possible? Riders going to be leaping their way back down this hill. Long drive, Nubo hard on the gas, not able to get the bike slowed down enough. But Q gonna hold on to it. Nubo still right on that rear tire. 2 separate lines, Nubo going wide, trying to carry the momentum. Nubo still trying to show him that he is there, showing him the front wheel. Seeing these guys absolutely pushing the limits of these 250s. Looks like Q does not get the triple in clean. That is going to allow Nubo right up to his rear tire. I think it is all going to come down to this section. Can these guys keep it clean? Both riders make it through this time. Nubo just trying to keep that KTM as close as he possibly can, taking some different lines. Both riders to the inside, doubling down the hill. Nubo needs to start setting up a pass here, realize where he's faster, where he's not. As we see it, white flag is out. So for our race leader, Q is going to grab the white flag. It looks like there may be some cuts involved. So Nubo needs to stay on the rear tire of Q here. Gets a much better drive up the hill. Around the outside, Nubo cannot make it stick that time. Two separate lines, both about the same speed. W lapper there for moving out of the way. Nubo still trying to make the outside work. Still not quite close enough. It's gonna grab this inside line. Ooh, great drive from Q out of the corner. Actually gonna be able to open up that gap just a little bit. We launch our way down this long downhill and back up. Q holding on for dear life as we have half a lap to go here for moto number 1. Can Q get it done for the Goon Squad, or is Nubo gonna make Ramen Co proud? Only a handful of turns left. Nubo very fast through that section, able to reel him back in. Nubo back up the inside. Q slams the door on him. Final turn. Nubo right there behind him. Q is going to come across the line, but Nubo's going to get it done. Great ride from those guys. Nubo just not letting off. Dr. Gio going to come across the line there in the number 3 spot. Next riders up, Lorenzo and Lucas. Looks like Lucas is going to grab the number 4 spot away. Brew does make the pass there on MP Films. So that is going to be our 6th and 7th rider. Jacko going to be the next guy coming across the line there on the Alpine KTM. Sen on the PFR. Should be our next rider. Looks like it may be Wyatt here. So Wyatt coming across the line in 9th there. There is Sen and Excite battling it out all the way down to the very line. Excite is going to get beat out for the number 9 spot by Sen. Wyatt there must have had some cuts as he is in 11th. Deeds in 12th. Apparetta in the 13th. Zaki on that Ramenco team going to grab the number 14 spot. Squish in the mix in 15th. Trash Panda in 16th. Next rider should be Joman here as he comes down that long hill and comes across the line for 17th. FMX almost to the finish line, not quite close enough. Rico is going to take that 18th spot away from him. Moore comes across the line in 19th. Benj in 21st. Sharpo going to be the next rider coming down the hill here. Or no, it is Dank. So Dank going to grab that 22 spot. Jensen. CH Pro Rider. Looks like we might have just one more rider here. This is probably our Sharpo rider. There he is in Snow. Not quite sure what happened to Snow, but fell way off the pace. Apparently went 4 laps down. And that is going to do it here for Moto number 1. Apologize, just chatting away with a couple people here. Some administrative work. Some great racing though. Obviously, apologize. Nubo grabbing that number 1 spot. Great ride from him. Got him on cuts, and that's what he was looking for. Strider saying, yeah, dude, this track is very gnarly. These ruts not not given much leeway, and it really they are very close together and don't give much room for error. Also wanted to shout out Zoom. Appreciate the follow there, brother. So you hit that follow button mid-race. Wanted to make sure shouted you out there. Appreciate each and every one of you for hitting that follow button. But it does look like we are getting ready to go back to racing here. Looks like riders are already down on the gate, getting ready for moto number 2. Revs gonna be going up here as 32nd board, gonna be going down. Can Q capitalize and take the number 1 spot away from Nubo? We are about to see gate is gonna be down, and we are going racing for moto number 2 here for round number 1 of the MXBGP. And Nubo with another great start, Shifty right up the inside. Some great racecraft there, able to take the number 1 spot away from Nubo very quickly. Going to see if Shifty added enough fuel this time to race the entire race. Q in the mix and right on the rear tire of Nubo as well. Has a little bit of a mistake in the bottom corner, catches a tough block, goes down. And already some carnage here early on. Shifty on the Nexus Co team in the number 1 spot, grabbing that green flag. Nubo in the number 2. We got Pro Rider up in the mix in the number 3 position. Dank, Deeds, Jensen all right there together. Luis, FMX, and Jacko. Oh, look at this. Bunch of riders getting tangled up on the inside there. More Trash Panda. Wyatt able to squeak by. Joman on that Normsco. FXR KTM getting into the mix. And he is going to clip Wyatt coming up the hill. And that is going to open the door for a multitude of riders to make their way by. We're going to watch these guys as they make their way back up that Ace Moto step up. Shifty still running strong in that number 1 spot, opening the gap there to about a 2.5 second lead here. Nubo, though, as we know, a very fast rider, grabbing moto number 1, and Pro Rider on the KDR. What is that? The TM in the number 2 spot. Awesome to see a little color here inside the sea of orange and gray. 707, appreciate the follow there, brother. Just caught that out of the corner of my eye. Dank from the 95 Racing Team in the number 3 spot. Nubo now falling back there to about the number 4 position and has the Alpine rider Jacko right there behind him. More from the Genesis Performance Team in the mix in 6th position. FMX from Sculf in the 7th. Sharpo, Deeds, Luis all right there together. Apparetta, Trash Panda, Wyatt, Zaki, Strider, Brew, Dr. Geo absolutely buried here early on. Got a lot of work to do. Same thing with our rider. Where'd he go? Lorenzo, there he is. Look at the pile of riders. Everybody diving down to the inside, trying to make their way through. We are 3 riders wide coming down into this bottom corner. Frankie having some issues around the outside there, trying to get the bike back on track. Looking all the way back here, it is Squish on the MXB Factory KTM. But as we continue to move forward, Lorenzo there trying to charge forward in the 21st position. Abreu, Zaki, Strider all trying to make their way farther forward. Deeds, Wyatt, Luis, CH in there. But as we glance back over the East Action Sports double, it is the #1 spot of Shifty on the Nexus code JLM KTM, putting down a burner as he has opened that gap up to about 5 seconds over the #2 spot of Dank. He leaps his way towards that DJ Designs double. Dank on the 95 Racing Team in the #2 spot. Pro Rider and more gonna be our next two riders. Nubo still holding strong in that #5 spot. Jacko from the Alpine starting to close up the gap just a little bit. FMX in 6th place there, making the pass on Jacko as we see Jacko off the side of the track. And there it is, Rico, MXL FXR rider, moving his way inside that top 10 into 8th. Send Trash Panda in the 10th, Sharpo in 11th, Jensen, CH. I believe that is going to be Luis as well on the Sculf. Husqvarna Strider on the MXL. Abreu from the Neverland, Wyatt and Zaki, both Ramen co-riders trying to charge their way forward together. These guys seem to always be with each other, whether it is Supercross or outdoors. But it is our race leader, Shifty, still putting the laps down, trying to keep the gap between him and Dank. More from that Genesis Performance team, running great here in Moto #2. Same thing with Pro Rider in the #4 spot. Jacko making their way up this big uphill triple, giving these 250s everything they got, as this is a huge time saver to not triple up. Kind of keeping the camera here, getting an eye on everybody. There is Q. So Q absolutely buried here, 28th. And that is going to open the door for quite a few people to have an opportunity at the podium position. Joman, not the moto that he wanted, absolutely buried at the back there. Looks like Dr. Gio still holding off Zaki here. Actually, no, looks like Dr. Gio charging his way forward and making the pass on Zaki, I should say. And Rico now making his way around Sen here. Sen able to respond, trying to make the pass happen back on Rico. Gonna dive down to the inside, trying to see if he can find a cleaner line. Drag race up the hill, and Rico's gonna hold on to that position at least into the next corner. Battle for the #4 spot. Jacko and Moore side by side coming up the hill. Neither rider wanting to let off. Look at that, Rico now going after our race 1 winner. Nubo not necessarily having the race that he wanted to have. As we jump back out to our race leader, Shifty, still holding on to the #1 position here, but it is Dank who has closed the gap in ever so slightly. So 3 seconds separate 1 and 2 here. And if we glance 7 seconds back from Dank, we are going to find Pro Rider on the KDR team. And Shifty coming across the line there. 10 minutes left here in race number 2. So Shifty trying to get it done here, charging forward and trying to maintain that gap as best as he can. Leaps back on down the hill. Gonna see how he maintains his speed through this section here. One of the gnarlier sections on track again. A little off camber. Gets pretty rough down here. Looks like he was able to open that gap up just a little more. Gonna see what as soon as we come across our next timing gate. Yet there it is, 4 seconds. So Shifty able to open that gap back up on Dank here. And Pro Rider not in the clear as we see Moore and Jacko charge their way up the hill. Jacko around the outside. Both these guys leap for that triple. Moore gonna get the better drive up the inside. Is gonna hold on to that #4 position, but Jacko does not look like he is done. As Moore with a mistake opens the door, Sen goes by. As well, Rico right there on his rear tire. Rico has the preferred line, takes the inside away from him. There's a collidable right there. Makes the camera all wonky. Pro Rider running strong in that #3 spot. Definitely a bounce back ride from race #1 as he was buried in the back. Keeping an eye out for the #3 spot, seeing how big of a gap does he have back to Sen. And Sen has been absolutely flying here, trying to charge and close that gap in to see if he can put that PFR Husqvarna up onto the podium here. Like I said, Q buried in the back. Race #2 is gonna open the door for somebody to move themselves onto the podium. Rico with a mistake is going to allow these guys to slide their way in. Oh, and Pro Rider over the top of the berm, and that is going to open the door for Sen now into the number 3 spot. 6 minutes left. And Jacko now right on the rear tire of Pro Rider, so who is running so strong in the number 3 spot is gonna have his hands full, as we are gonna be seeing our race leaders making their way down this hill. There he is, Shifty, opening the gap now to 10 seconds as he is trying to run away with Moto number 2 here. As we see the gap on track. There is the number 2 spot of Dank on the 95 racing team. Leaping his way into that massive triple. About a 12-second gap for Shifty as he has been putting absolute burners down here. Four minutes to go. We're gonna see, can Shifty hold on to this massive lead? 14 seconds now on the clock that he has over the number 2 spot of Dank, as we are sitting here waiting for him to make his way around the Benton Racing uphill triple. There he is. And as we glance just a little back here, Sen still absolutely charging. Seeing if he can close that gap in 8 seconds, separating him and Dank. Definitely think he has the pace to do it. As long as Sen can keep that bike on 2 wheels, he may have an opportunity. 4 minutes still here to go in race number 2. We watch Nubo still running in that 6th position. Trash Panda in 7th. And it's going to be more from the Genesis Performance in 8th. Wyatt and a Brew in the mix. Rico from the MXL FXR team in 9th. Dr. Geo in the mix there. Also has some cuts. As Jensen right there behind him. Apparetta. MP Films, Lucas, Zachy. We're gonna have Slaxy, FMX, and Strider in there as well. Much better ride from Strider here in race number 2. Q now starting to move his way forward, but it does seem like it is too late. Up into 22nd now. And it actually looks like, as we see on track, Sen has made the pass for the number 2 spot on Dank. So Sen, the only rider that may have some opportunity, as he makes a mistake. And that is going to allow Dank right back around the outside and makes the pass back for that number 2 position. Shifty, once again, don't think he has been the fastest guy on track, but man, has he been smooth. I don't even know where he is at. There he is. As Shifty riding very strong here in race number 2. Unfortunately, was not able to race or finish race number 1 due to running out of fuel. Not quite grabbing the hole shot, was right there behind him though, and has now been absolutely charging forward. Able to open that gap almost 30 seconds back to the number 2 spot of Dank. And Shifty just riding very consistent here. Look at that, Shifty leaping up high enough is level with the drone camera. Zoom the whole schedule and everything we're still kind of working out on and trying to dial everything in. I would assume so, but I don't want to make promises, but I would assume I am. And there it is. So time has expired for Shifty. One more lap to go here as Shifty makes his way towards this moto win. Just picking his way through some of this lap traffic. As we glance back though, looks like we still do have the battle continuing for the number 2 spot. Dank and Sen right there together, about a second separating these guys. Lapped rider in the mix there. Next rider gonna be Nubo, who's now made his way up into that number 4 spot. Pro rider still holding strong as he is in the mix, and Jacko as well, now trying to make the charge to catch up to the rear tire of Nubo. Brew Wyatt right there together in the 7th and 8th. Dr. Geo on track 9th, but it looks like that is going to be held on by Moore, who is almost a full straightaway behind. But we are going to be keeping an eye out. Where is our race leader? Do not want to miss him. There he is. So with only a few turns left to go, Shifty on that Nexus Co KTM after having a fantastic start, second into turn 1, able to grab the number 1 spot away from Nubo into turn 2. Riding absolutely flawless here. 1 turn to go, and the Nexus Co rider is gonna get it done here in moto number 2. And here's the battle for the number 2 spot. Dank and Sen right there side by side. Dank leaps up the hill past him. Gonna have a little bit of a bobble fighting for the inside. Sen comes down the hill, but it is gonna go to Dank on cuts by 0.2. So Dank on the 95 Racing grabs the number 2 spot. Sen in the number 3. Jacko comes across the line of Brew, Nubo, Pro Rider, Wyatt. So it's gonna go a Brew, Pro Rider, Jacko, Nubo, Wyatt, Trash Panda, Dr. Geo, See how the cuts work out here. Trash Panda is going to grab that 9th, more 10th. Dr. Geo 11th. Rico comes across the line there in 11th, or 12th, sorry. Apparetta going to come across the line there in 13th. Lucas, or no, Zaki 14th. There is Lucas in the 15th. Slaxy, the only Honda rider here, comes across the line in 16th. Strider on the MXL FXR in 17th. Excite bunch of the riders making their way through. Still some final lap battles. Q trying to make some passes. Him and Joman cross the line side by side. Joman in the 21st, Deeds 22nd. Q is going to be 23rd, CH 24th, Luis 25th, Squish 18, and the rest of the riders retiring out. What a fantastic race for round number 1, coming back into the MXBGP series with the MXL guys here on a beautiful Monday afternoon. Like I said, make sure you guys are paying attention to Discords. I know we do have some things changing, some new things coming up, so make sure you guys are paying attention to all of that. We're going to go ahead, we're going to wait for some results to be posted, and then we're going to jump into our podium speeches here. If I do call your guys' names out and you want to jump on the podium for just a quick sponsor shout out, make sure you guys join up on the special media Discord. Additionally to that, come on in, take a look at all the things we got going on, get all the announcements when we're going live, as well as taking a look at all the sponsors and everybody that just makes this possible. Not quite, not quite. You were moving. I'll give you that. You definitely did really good. Let's see it. Let's see an overall, and then you got your opportunity. Dang, appreciate the follow there, brother. Like I said, as soon as we get some overall results, we'll go ahead and call in our top 3. If you would have remembered your setup, I think you would have easily been on the podium, if not the overall. Well, once again, just kind of hanging out, waiting on results. As always, like to shout out all the sponsors and everybody that makes things possible, everybody that's hitting that follow button. If you guys got the ability to, I appreciate each and every one that can hit the subscribe button. It means the world to us over here at Special Media. Got a lot of cool things still coming up, and a lot of cool things that all of that money that you guys end up donating over just goes into. So if you guys got the means to, if you guys love what you're seeing, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, watch ad free, and be able to hang out and support Special Media. Additionally to that, just everyone that hits the follow button, it means a world to us. We love to be able to see the growth, seeing the follower count continue to climb, almost at 850 at this point. So you guys have been absolutely killing it. Additionally to that you guys see up on the podium along the overlays throughout the whole show. Obviously MXL, huge shout out to these guys, Rico for putting on a phenomenal show, TPR, AB Customs, Speed Photography, TH Visuals, Club MX, VM Visuals. Everybody around the entire thing has been a huge help. All the homies that just come and hang out with us, CB Suspension, everybody from that Charge Cycle Work team. Huge shout out to all those guys for just chilling with us on the daily basis. So once again, can't thank everybody enough for all of the support. I said, still waiting on our overall results to be posted here. Seeing if we can get these in. Looks like we do have them. So our top 3 is going to be Nubo grabs the overall on that Ramen Co. KTM. A brew from the Neverland team squeaking into the number 2 spot. And Sen gonna grab the number 3. So if you guys are around, make sure you guys jump on into the special media Discord. Join into Podium. I'll drag you on in and we'll get a quick word from you. Shout out the sponsors. Let us know how your race went. And we'll go ahead and continue to wrap things up. Looks like we do have our race winner sitting in the podium. Let's go ahead, bring on in Nubo from the Ramen Co. team. Nubo, what is going on, brother? How are we doing? Dude, you were absolutely flying. Race number 1 came all the way down to the very wire. Actually came down to cuts and able to grab that number 1 spot. Take us through race number 2. Didn't seem like you were able to get out as front just as easy. Kind of had to fight your way through a little bit. Oh, hold on. Apparently they can't hear you. It's on me. That's on me. I'm probably capturing from the wrong thing. Okay. Now talk.
So just repeat. Yo,
There we
check.
go.
It's working. I meant. So, yeah, that was second race was a struggle. Like start was good again, but then crash on the first lap kind of put me back. Had to fight through. Couple of incidents with other riders, but yeah, that happens. It's motocross at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, and you were still flying. We saw you towards the end there start to make your push, and that's what really kind of came down to it was that last little sprint, able to put yourself up high enough to grab the overall. Obviously puts you in a great point in terms of the points standings. Race number 1, I think it always means the most, sets the pace for the rest of the season. What were your thoughts on the track? Did you like the track? Was it challenging? Was it easy for you?
From the start, the track was really rough. That was my first thought about the track. But then I don't know. I just found some good lines. Shout out to Toxic. He kind of helped me out, but yeah, it was definitely a tough one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, most definitely. I thought the ruts were pretty deep, and I know the E-road was not set very high, so I don't think that was much of a concern here today.
Yeah.
But man, hey, you stayed consistent, kept yourself up towards the front, and that's how you do it to grab the overall. Anybody you'd like to thank for today's performance?
Honestly, first one's obviously my team Ramen Co. This is good support. Can't say anything else. Just the W team. Then SPS suspension, just W suspensions can't lie. Definitely saved me quite a couple of crashes. And then yeah, just the dudes I play with, Smuds, Zaki, Sharpo, a lot of them. So definitely a part of me actually winning this race.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, once again, congratulations on that number 1 spot here tonight. Hopefully we catch you around for the remaining rounds, as we definitely see you as one of the top competitors and bring a good element and speed to the series. So appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us and racing. And like I said, hopefully to see you here next week, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. Have a good one.
Good night.
Yep. Awesome. So that is our number 1 spot. Like I said, the other riders, if you guys are kicking around, if you know who they are, Brew, Sen, if you guys want to jump in for a quick word, make sure you guys do now. If not, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here for round number 1 of the MXL Pro-Am MXBGP series. As always, we are going to continue to roll through each one of these rounds with these guys, just bringing some more and more content and more action. I don't think anybody else is going to be joining up on us, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to kick it on to the booth here one last time as we wrap things up here. As always, huge shout out to each and every one of you guys for hanging out with us here tonight. Make sure you guys are staying tuned for all the racing action that we got coming up here in the near future. Obviously, Thursday night, make sure you guys are signing up. PCK Supercross as that series has been kind of hurting in numbers, but the tracks, the racing has been phenomenal. So make sure you guys are signing up for that. I know it's Supercross. People are starting to get tired of it, but it definitely is such an awesome opportunity to see yourself racing. Obviously, everything's streamed right here in special media, so you're not going to want to miss any of that action. As always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Have a great night wherever you guys are at, and we will catch you guys on Thursday for some more racing action. Have a good one, guys. Peace.
What do